Hey, I'm Guy.
I'm John.
It's our YouTube channel. Subscribe to it and give this video a like.
Podcast below in the description. Check it out now.
All right, John, you know the favorite Garth Brooks song I like to quote on this show? Some of God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers. And
I thought you were going to go Thunder Rolls.
Thunder rolls, lightning strikes, and Kyle Shanahan got an athletic quarterback. The Raiders. Do you remember how mad John Gruden was to even have to attend that coin flip with Reggie McKenzie and John Lynch?
I was saying that he was furious.
Rod Woodson was there to flip it.
And then he lost. He was pissed.
Because Kyle wasn't there, right? He didn't have Shanahan for whatever reason wasn't there, but Gruden was.
Did not show up. Sent Lynch.
Jeremy Fowler says the Raiders have agreed with Kolten Miller on a 3-year extension worth more than $18 million a year. Deal includes $42.6 million guaranteed at signing and goes through 2025, including a 5th-year option for an ascending tackle. I have on the screen on YouTube Vic Tafer's tweet from April 26, 2018. Raiders wanted a tackle. They were going to draft McGlinchey, and when he was gone, they would have taken Miller at 10 if no trade down, Mike Silver just said. So somebody tweeted at me after the Kolton Miller signing, isn't it crazy how the conversation has changed from McGlinchey clearly being the better one to Kolton Miller being the better one? And it wasn't just that McGlinchey was the better one during the draft. It was after like 1 year, McGlinchey was the better player.
Yeah.
Credit to the Raiders on they didn't pick Miller over McGlinchey. They just got him, but they developed him because he was kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, like there was some of the, what's his name, the left tackle that the Dolphins drafted from USC, Jackson.
Austin Jackson, yeah.
There were some of those vibes, like he needs to be developed, and they did it. They nailed it.
Remember, he hadn't played that much. He'd played a little right tackle, a little left tackle.
He was not a guy in the Pac-12 that year that everyone was talking about as a top 10 pick. I can tell you that.
I honestly, I didn't think he was talked about as a first-round pick. This is has some parallels to the quarterback stuff. McGlinchey coming out would have been viewed as a really high floor. And he's a good example of, well, his floor, it felt like last year, fell through the bottom to the, not the attic, but the basement. And right now people are running around him. And when I was texting with Greg Papa, I said, you know why you need to get one of these athletic quarterbacks and not Mac Jones? Is because McGlinchey's a turnstile and the guy needs to run away from whoever's rushing on the right side. Kolton Miller was kind of like a thin, big-time athlete. Like the one thing he had is he was really athletic. Well, what have they done? They built up his body. He's gotten stronger, and he's become a really good player. I red flagged this because I don't understand if you're Kolton Miller and you're ascending as like, I don't want to say a future star, but one of the stalwarts in the league at left tackle. You were a year away from going into your 5th-year option. You know, Trent Williams, 55. Now, he's a better player, but he's way older. Like, you couldn't sign next year. Now, I get it. You put money in front of people. But, Guy, the cap's going up. If Kolton Miller's their tackle for the next decade, this is one of the best deals in the league.
Johnny's the first guy. Field Yates tweeted he's the first guy from the 2018 draft class to sign an extension.
Well, because if you're good in that class, I'm not signing an extension this offseason. Are you?
Think about Quentin Nelson, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Fred Warner.
Fred's contract's up because all those guys have 5th-year options. Fred does not, so it's like he'll probably sign this offseason. But Fred ain't signing a team-friendly deal. I would be shocked if he does.
This is where, again, remember the Raiders, Derek Carr signed a contract that was pretty good for the team. It was good for him, too. Guess who's rich as shit?
You see Derek's birthday party?
No, he turned 30 this weekend. What happened?
On Instagram, it looked like they went to, I don't know, an island that they rented out in like Mexico. Just the Carr family.
It's like the Kardashian party.
Clan. Yeah, it kind of was. Then all of a sudden, I follow his wife. I think Melanie's her name. At the end of the dinner, they had a fireworks show for him.
30.
They got a lot of money, Guy.
Big 30.
I just think that Kolton Miller, as a team for the Raiders, I do this deal all day long. I'm shocked that they got him to sign it. Because usually you can wait a year and get a lot more money.
Heather Carr, John.
Heather Carr. I think Melanie is maybe Dave's wife. Maybe it's his mom. I'm pretty sure there's a Melanie Carr, but
okay.
You're right. Heather is. She was a BJ Country Kitchen. She was when we recruited her. When I was working there, and Derek was always helping in recruiting. She was a waitress there going to Fresno State. I think that's how they met.
BJ's Country Kitchen. Wait, BJ's Country Kitchen?
Or not BJ's Country Kitchen. BJ's a pizza place. With the menu that's
the
like
place
the
with the
size
menu. Yeah.
It's
the place
massive.
with the menu.
Unreal Pizookie.
God, so good. The worst thing they ever did was put all the calorie counts on their menus.
Yeah.
It's like, guys, I don't need to know that this cookie's 1,400 calories. Just, I
The
know I'm
problem is
ordering something I shouldn't be ordering at 10:30 at night.
they do the deep dish pizza, which is pretty good.
The deep dish pizza, yeah.
That's kind of their go-to. I
I mean,
remember
a hot cookie
full
cake
ton.
with ice cream on top is hard to beat, though.
Yeah.
Especially the brownie one.
That's the problem with recruiting weekends. You just eat so much.
Players are like, this is how we eat all the time? You're like,
Yeah.
no, you get a card with some money on it.
Well, they did a good job feeding Kolton Miller because I remember one thing the knock on him was like, is he going to be strong enough? Is he too skinny? And he's just a really good left tackle. He's really, really valuable.
Yeah, and John, if on his side of it, he'll have time to he'll be able to if health is obviously a big part of this conversation. He just got himself guaranteed $43 million, and he'll have the chance to sign another big contract.
Well, he's only 25 years old.
So two more big contracts maybe if he, right?
I would say playing left tackle. I just think this thing is going to be viewed at like the deal Devontae Adams is playing at right now. It's like $14 million a year. It's got to be pound for pound, dollar for dollar, the best deal in the league. One of them, non-quarterback. If this guy is just one of the top 5 left tackles in the league, like this is just immediately one of the best contracts in the NFL.
Right. Because right now it's top 5 guaranteed money, but he could have gotten top 5 guaranteed money a year from now when top 5 guaranteed money was more money.
Well, he's just, because if the cap storms way up, if he's just one Pro Bowl season away. Now, again, there's risk involved in that. Like I always say, you put the money in front of people. But like Ronnie Stanley had been to one Pro Bowl. It's not like he was like a 4-time Pro Bowler. It was a can't miss. Like he had turned in one great season into what, $65 million. Like Trent, if Trent was 26, I mean, is that number 75 million? Right? Yeah. The only thing working against Trent, he's 32.
Ronnie Stanley was the 6th pick. Kolton Miller was not like a second rounder.
He's already made money. 15. Yeah. It's just pretty crazy that Kolton Miller, I would say, is dramatically better than McGlinchey now. Like I think McGlinchey is viewed currently as a liability, which is a problem when he's a tackle. So like you said, the Raiders, John was extra heated because they wanted the tackle and they knew getting the spot, it cost them the tackle. Turns out they traded
back. And the spectacle was just not his style.
Yeah. And it was viewed at the time like they got the worst player. I mean, the player that was lower on their own board, but it just shows you sometimes like the unanswered prayers thing is true. However we react on draft night, it's like things change, man. They just do. Some guys get better. Some guys get worse. Some guys, Kolton Miller's a good example of when you take a high ceiling guy and he actually hits it, you feel like you fucking hit a home run.
Yeah.
Right. When you take a low floor guy and then you're like, oh my God, this isn't working out. You feel it's like a double kick in the
you're like, oh yeah, but we're still using him on third downs. Like it's fine. Like, no, it's not fine.
No, it's like Yannick Ngakoue. It's like he can't play the run. Like whatever, he can get me 10 sacks, right? Like what else can McGlinchey do? Like Kolton Miller is just a way better athlete. I just think you got to be a really good athlete now, probably more than ever. Like when I moved to Philly, John Runyon had recently retired, and he was like, I think he was like a senator running in like Delaware or Philadelphia, or like he just become like a stalwart in the town, and he was always known for like, he was the worst athlete in the league, but he was just a stalwart at right back.
Did he have the most bicep hair of any player in the NFL at the time?
Yeah, he was just ugly, smelly. Him and Strahan and DeMarcus Ware, it was just they were just doing dirty shit, and then but he just made it because he was like tough. That's McGlinchey's arguing with people on Twitter, and Kolton Miller just blocking guys.
Getting paid.
I like McGlinchey. McGlinchey's a cool guy, like a solid guy. If a solid guy shouldn't be arguing with like Grant Cohn on Twitter. I'll say one thing about Kolton Miller. Like I never hear from him. He just plays. I know they love him. Yeah. Clearly.
Yeah. It's also goes back to your point. You've said this a lot. I think you and I have talked about this with Cole Hamels many years ago. Someone just put $43 million in front of him. It's like tomorrow you got $43 million guaranteed to you. You want to wait a year? And I can understand where he goes, I can sign the 43, and then if I get hurt, I sign the 43, right?
Yeah.
And if I'm healthy, that's not bad news because I'll be healthy and I'll sign for my next contract. It'll be who knows what it'll be? It'll be $80 million by then.
You know the other crazy part is Kolton Miller and McGlinchey. McGlinchey's 6'9", and we've stood next to him all of it. Kolton Miller's 6'8" and 5'4". Like Kolton Miller's huge.
I remember the footage of him, and he looked like the tall, skinny guy coming out of college, right?
Yeah, because he was 310, but it was like he's 6'9", but he ran a 4. He's a really good athlete from Sacramento.
Was he like a high school tight end? Was he one of those guys?
Yeah, had to be, because he went. It said made his first career start in 2015. Miller took over starting tackle from that game. Yeah, I think he was just a project.
Oh, did he take over for Connor McDermott, John?
Yep. Yeah.
No. Both are reading the wiki. Yeah. Yeah.
Wiki's useful. I mean, scouts use wiki. You know, it's not like
it's not nothing. I mean, they got their citations at the bottom.
It's like TMZ. It used to have a negative connotation. Like it's my go-to.
It's like, is the news real or is it not real? Kolton Miller, great player.
Yeah.
Good move. Good job, Raiders.